And welcome to another Cardinals Nest here on HBC Channel 25. Dean Beckman along with Sports Information Director Donny Nadeau back with you to talk St. Mary's University athletics here on HBC. And Donny, a little bit later in the program during the interview segment, we'll bring in Mandy Pearson, the head women's basketball coach for the Cardinals, and her senior post player, Kim Kaminski, will be on the show. It'll be good to have Mandy and Kim on, and we'll talk some women's basketball as they are now ready to kind of enter the heart of the conference season once the new year resumes in 2011.
Yeah, and that's one of the things obviously we'll talk to Coach Pearson about is they're off to a good start, and now they've got to take this extended break before they really, you're right, they hit the conference season in full stride right away on January 3rd, so they're going to get back from break and have to really get going and get things in high gear right away. Unfortunately, I think she'd probably rather be playing right now because they are playing very well. They've got some good momentum going, and she probably wish she could have 2 or 3 more games before break, but you know, the schedule is what it is. So.
Yep. So before we get to Mandy and Kim, we'll talk about the previous week in St. Mary's University athletics. And speaking of momentum and on a roll, that would be the men's basketball team. They closed out the well, actually, they have a non-conference game at Viterbo as we tape this on Wednesday. But prior to that, Donny, they brought the 2010 part of the conference season to a close with a big win over Concordia. Lucas Holland, Will Wright had some big games there. Chris Palmer chipped in as well. That was the way that Coach Todd Landrum certainly wanted to close out the early part of the conference season.
Absolutely. For them to go into their Christmas break conference-wise with a 3-1 record is outstanding for them, and I know that was a big win against Concordia. You know, to be 3-1 instead of 2-2 is always nice, and they played very well. I talked to Coach yesterday morning. We did our little preview for the Viterbo game, and one of the things he said is they played very well in the first half, kind of let Concordia back into the game, you know, early in the second half, and then like they've been doing of late, is they've really put things together down the stretch and finished very strong. And right now he said that's really one of the keys to their successes is they're finishing games the way they need to finish them, and that is dominating performances. So I know he's very happy with where they're at. Obviously not satisfied. They've still got 3 non-conference games before they get back into conference play on January 3rd. So he's going to use these next 3 games as you know, a good barometer, a good way to end before the Christmas break with Viterbo, and then they go to Illinois College for a tournament on the 29th and 30th of January. So he'll use those 2 games as the opportunity to get themselves ready to get back into conference play. He's going to kind of use them as a little bit of a tune-up, kind of like they did, you know, their first 2 non-conference games to begin the season. So the schedule is going to be good for him in terms of getting ready for conference play, but you know, right now they're playing very well, and probably like Coach Pearson, he wishes they could just keep playing with no break right now.
And as we look at the video, of course, that took place last Saturday, right in the middle of the big snowstorm that we had here in Winona, and so the bleacher crowd looks a little sparse, but the student section, Donny, was in full force, and I know that made Coach Landrum pretty happy.
Absolutely. One of the things with Saturday's game, you're right, with the blizzard that we had, very few people were able to get out of town and get back up here. And we have had a very good support from the Winona community, but Saturday the Winona students really took charge and made themselves known. And I know that just like any game, any team, when you can get a boisterous crowd to be backing you and be that extra player on the court for you, it makes a big difference. And the players feed off of it. The coaches enjoy it because the players feed off of it, and usually they play better because of it. So you know, there's no question that Coach Landrum was very happy with the crowd that they've had, and he's been happy with the crowd that they've had, you know, with all their home games. And it's you know, it's a lot of fun to kind of listen to the crowd and have them be you know, be vocal and be helping you out as best they can, and they've done a great job.
You know, we were talking off camera, Donny, this year's men's basketball team, a great mix of scorers. You have the big 3 with Lucas, Will, and Chris, and a lot of these highlights you see them scoring, but then a lot of role players that are really rounding things out, making this a good defensive team and a good rebounding team as they showed against the Cobbers.
Absolutely. You got Gary Seifert and Michael Burfind and Pat Freeman and Patrick Connolly, they all are doing a great job. Pat Freeman had a fantastic game against Concordia, coming off the bench to score 14 points. And really, it's been like that all year for them. You're going to get the big three. They're going to do their job. What they need is they need that fourth and fifth person to step up and fill that role. And each game, it's been somebody different. And I think that's the important thing. One game, it's Gary Seifert. One game, it's Michael Burfine, who had 10 points in back-to-back games in their two previous conference wins. And then on Saturday, it was Pat Freeman with 14 points. So they're getting play from other people. Teams are going to have enough trouble trying to stop Will and Lucas and Chris Palmer. Now, if you can add some players that can step in and be that force when those guys are being shut down, that makes a big difference. And the Concordia game was a great example of that. Chris Palmer was held to 9 points and 6 rebounds. Pat Freeman steps up and he gets 14 points, which is a lot of points off the bench for him, and that's going to make them a better team and a tougher team for opponents to defend and game plan for.
Well, even though Chris was held down a little bit in that game, he actually was named the MIAC Player of the Week, probably because of his prior outing when he dropped in more than 30 points.
Yeah, it's pretty hard not to be Player of the Week when you have 37 points alone against Bethel, which was, we talked about in the last show. What a phenomenal performance. And he was 13 for 13 from the free throw line, 37 points. It's just an outstanding performance. And it's nice to know that he got recognized for it. And when teams are focusing on him and for him to score 9 points and 6 boards against Concordia, sure, it's not a double-figure performance, but a very well-rounded performance from him. And he's going to run into teams that are going to, they're going to say, okay, Will and Lucas, you're going to do your thing, but we're not going to let Chris Palmer beat us. And really, that's what Concordia did. Unfortunately, Concordia didn't have an answer for Pat Freeman as well. So, great for Chris Palmer to be Player of the Week. And obviously, if you asked him, he'd probably say it was because of the play of the other team, of his other teammates, that he was presented with that award.
All right, let's go on now to women's hockey for St. Mary's, and really nothing to talk about from this past week, as they are done now until the early part of January when they head out to the Codfish Bowl there in Boston. But they're off to a great start, 6-1-3 on the season, 3-0-3 in the conference, and there you see they are tied for second place with St. Kate's and St. Thomas in the conference standings, right just 1 point behind Gustavus. And so I'm sure Coach Terry Manor, Donny, very pleased heading into the Christmas break here with where things are at.
Absolutely, and like Coach Pearson and Coach Landrum, he probably wishes they could still be playing right now, playing extremely well. Like you said, 3-0-3 in their conference right now. Tied for second place. That's a great spot to be after 3 conference series. So they're doing very well. They're getting performance from a number of different people, and they're getting great goaltending from Kay Collier, and Sarah Gustafson has stepped up and done a nice job as well, which is be very important when you get into the heart of your conference season. You don't have to rely on just one goaltender. If Coach Manor can have 2 goalies that he can alternate or rotate however he might see fit, that's certainly going to help them out in terms of keeping people fresh and maybe not breaking down the body of just one goalie having to play every game. So that's important for them, and I know he's looking forward to taking the team out to Boston. We talked when Coach Pearson went out to Colorado, the importance of that that trip and how it helps build team chemistry. The women will be coming back from break. They'll get to go away together and kind of get to know each other a little bit more. A lot of freshmen on that team. Yeah. So it's a good chance for everybody to kind of mesh a little bit. They'll play those 2 games, and then boom, they're right back in conference play. And now we're going to be starting to talk about how important every game is from here on out.
Donny, in men's hockey, kind of a double whammy last week against Marion College as the Cardinals lose that one 4-1 after giving up 3 early goals. And all of that started after their starting goaltender, Andy Scheib, had to leave the game with a knee injury, and he may not be returning this year. That's a big loss.
It's a pretty safe assumption that he won't be returning. Early prognosis is torn ACL, MCL, and possibly his PCL. So we're looking at a whole knee reconstruction. And as a goalie, when you're going down and you're bending your knees all the time, it's it's certainly a very, very devastating injury. And unfortunately, it really, as I talked to Coach Moore, it really took a lot of the wind out of the Cardinals' sails. And he was playing very well. He'd stopped the first 8 shots he faced, and then got injured. Taking nothing away from Jason Horseman, who came in relief. But when Andy went down, the team kind of deflated a little bit, and Marion took advantage, scoring those 3 goals in the first period. And St. Mary's just couldn't quite recover. And it's an unfortunate situation. But now what they've got to do is they've got to rebound, and hopefully Coach Moore can can get the team to regroup. For them, it's probably a good time for them to have a little bit of a break here. They'll come back from the Christmas break and play 2 non-conference games against River Falls and Eau Claire, and then they get into their conference season. And when you look at their schedule right now, they're sitting at 2-2 in the conference, which for them, after 4 games, is very good. Right now, what Coach Moore needs is to play a game against a team that's not nationally ranked. And you take Marion into that mix, and every team that they've played has been ranked at one time or another this season, and that's a tough situation to be in. So you look at their 8 losses; they're all against teams that have been nationally ranked. So unfortunately, they have 8 losses, but you can always find that silver lining, and they're playing very good competition, and hopefully that's going to pay off as they get into the heart of their conference schedule. And they're playing good hockey right now. They've got to get that offense going a little bit. They've been held to 2 goals or less in their last 4 games, and they need to get better offensive performances than that.
And Donnie, finally in this segment, swimming and diving. Last weekend, the teams, both men and women, were down at Luther College in Decorah, Iowa. And there we see the women losing 143-63, the men 79-36. On the men's side, though, there was an interesting second-place finish by one of the swimmers and divers.
Yeah, it was Molnar, a freshman from St. Paul, had a really interesting one. He was second in the 1-meter diving, and then he was also second in the butterfly. One of those things you don't usually see where a diver is actually swimming in a normal event. So it was obviously Coach Lindquist wanting to see what his freshman could do, and did a very nice job both in the diving and in the butterfly competition. Mark Ross did a nice job. He picked up his first place finish of the season, so that was good to see. Now the problem for them is that they are off now. It's it's really early December, and they're off until January 15th when their next competition is. So they've got a lot of training without a true competition. So Coach Lindquist is going to have to work on keeping things interesting, keeping the team engaged, because that's a long time of just training with no type of competition.
Yeah, and no trip this year. Often
Absolutely.
They'll take a late December, early January trip somewhere, but they won't have that. So it'll be over a month from their previous competition to their next one, which is a home matchup at the Jules Gurnis Pool.
Right. They've actually got a triangular against Hamlin and St. Thomas on the 15th, and then 2 weeks after that they host River Falls with another home meet. So those 2 meets are very big for the Cardinals. Just looking forward to swimming in front of their home crowd, and I know that they're excited about that. Right now the key is going to be coming back from break and getting everybody back in the pool and really training hard, because that conference championship is going to come up a lot faster than you'd expect when we're talking in December about something in February.
Yeah. All right, when we come back here on the Cardinals Nest, we will talk in depth about women's basketball with head coach Mandy Pearson and also her senior post player Kim Kaminski. That's next here on HBC Channel 25.
Showtime brings you the very best in premium entertainment.
I know I'm a monster.
If you're gonna kill me, please do it fast.
I am reborn!
That's hilarious. Quick question? Sure. Shut up. I'm just having desserts and liquor.
We will be cruel to the German. All in HD.
You don't have to worry about me.
It's all you want. It's the best. It's Showtime.
Hey, I'm Buddha, inviting you to join me for a brand new show here on HBC TV 25 called Real Attractions. We'll show you trailers from the latest movies to hit theaters and also what's being released on DVD that week. Plus, you have a chance to win free movies by registering at my.hbci.com/realattractions. But you gotta watch to win. So check out Real Attractions here on HBC TV 25, hosted by yours truly, which is why we didn't call it Real Attractive.
Hey! Who are you?
I'm the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, yeah.
And we're back here on the Cardinals Nest. Dean Beckman along with Donny Nadeau, joined now by Mandy Pearson, the head women's basketball coach for the Cardinals, and Kim Kaminski. So Mandy and Kim, thanks for being on the show.
No problem.
Mandy, this is your 4th year now as head coach. You've been on the program before, but we have yet to be introduced here on the Cardinals Nest to Kim Kaminski. So Kim, we'll start with you. You're a senior from Milwaukee, so tell us how you got started in basketball there in Milwaukee and how you ended up coming to St. Mary's, and you can tell us a little bit about your major. And
All right. Well, it's kind of a funny story why I started playing basketball. So I was 5 years old, and like most little girls, my mom enrolled me in gymnastics. And if you know me, I'm not the most graceful person. And my gymnast teacher said that she thinks I would be better in a more physical team sport because I wasn't really gelling well with the other girls. So I started playing basketball right after that. So I was 5.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
What made you come choose St. Mary's as a place to come not only for school but for basketball?
Well, when I was first looking at here, I was going to do track, and I did track for 2 years. And I met with the team, and I really liked it. And just, it's totally different than being in Milwaukee. I went to a city, or I lived in the city, and just coming here, it was a completely different atmosphere, but it just felt right. I really liked it. I love the bluffs and everything like that.
And you're an education major, so tell us what you hope to do with that eventually.
I want to teach in the high school history classroom, and then I really want to coach too in the future. I just finished up my student teaching in Wabasha, and I loved it, so I feel ready for that.
So Mandy, the question for you then, what kind of coach do you think Kim will be someday?
A yeller. Kim will be a good coach. She relates well with people. She's very positive. I think any kid would like to be coached by her because she has so much energy and is so positive.
Yeah. You know, before we talk about the season that you're having so far, I got to ask you, you played Sunday against Concordia, and obviously we've talked before. That's where you played, 2-time player of the year. What's it like to coach against the team that you actually played for?
It's a lot different now. When I was an assistant coach at Hamlin and I was coaching against some of my teammates, it was a lot different. Now, my only tie there is the head coach, and I think we're as competitive as anybody and want to beat each other. So there's, you know, it's just like playing every other team, except it'd be a little bit more fun to beat them, I think.
Yeah, well, and certainly, you know, they remain kind of atop the conference.
Yeah.
They're one of the teams to kind of shoot for all of the time. And tell us about that last game. Basically, it was just cold shooting on behalf of the Cardinals because you're off to a good start this year. That was maybe just a little slip on the path to where you hope to get to.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a strange weekend to begin with. We came out very strong defensively, and we held them to 17 points below their average, which is pretty good against that team because every single player that they play can score. You know, they're very versatile players. So I thought we did a very good job defensively. We had a few too many turnovers and just couldn't hit our shots. I mean, we got good looks in our offense. Really, we did. I mean, their 6'4" girl that they had in the lane changed a few of our shots. But, I mean, basically we played well. The basket just didn't roll our way sometimes.
A nice start for you guys, Kim. You're 4-3 right now heading into the break. Talk a little bit about the team itself and what type of chemistry that you guys have.
This year, it's a lot different than the past years I've been here. Our team chemistry is awesome. Everybody really genuinely likes each other. We enjoy hanging out. If you come down to our locker room anytime, there would be 5 of us sitting there talking, not being productive, but having a good time usually. But it's great. We all really can lean on each other, and that's a good thing for us to have.
As a senior, obviously, you know, with any sport, when you're a senior, you are one of the people that people are looking to be the leader. You and Sherry and Jess right now are the leaders of that team. What's that? What do you take from that? What do you feel your role is in terms of a leader of this team?
Me, Sherry, and Jess, we've gone through this since freshman year together, so we've seen all the team every year change. And I think it's great because we're 3 different leaders in a sense. Sherry's very good at seeing the big picture, while me and Jess are more of, you know, the like cheer on. Jess is a kindergarten teacher. She sees very, you know, hugs and kisses for everybody, which is great. We need that too. So I think the 3 of us together, we make a really good unit up.
Mandy, talk a little bit from your standpoint. You know, like I said, you're 4-3, which is really a solid start for you guys. Was I right in the first segment? You'd rather be playing right now rather than this break?
Actually, I'm ready for a break. Not me personally, but this past week has been rough. I mean, with Kim student teaching, Jess Miller's been student teaching, Sherry's been taking her strategies business class, which
Right.
I'm sure you know
isn't
the most fun thing to do. And then we got hit with a few people being sick. Last week we had 3 people puking with the flu. and a few people with bronchitis, Jess Miller, Jess Thone. So I'm excited for them to get a break, get refreshed, be done with their really tough first semester so that we can come out strong in January.
When you guys come back, when do you come back from break, and what's the game plan as you head in? Because like we said, January 3rd, you play St. Thomas, you're right back in conference play, and from here on out, it's all conference games. So when do you come back, and what's your focus as you try and get ready for early January and then the rest of the year?
Right now, I mean, we have a few practices this week before finals start. We've really been focusing on offense. I think our defense is a lot better this year. Offensively, the nice thing about our team is we have a lot of depth. We have more than just 2 people who can score this year, and we can score at all positions. And so we're really focusing on trying to get that offense to mingle together a little bit more, and which I think is going to happen. I don't know, Kim's seen it at practice. We're looking a lot better. So we're going to come back on the 27th or 28th. I can't remember right now, but our big focus is going to be pushing the ball in transition, attacking a little bit more offensively, and then obviously rebounding. And I think heading into St. Thomas, that's going to be a big difference for us if we're looking to be aggressive and looking to score. And that schedule starts up, and it's crazy. But fortunately, our schedule this year at St. Mary's, we start a week later after Christmas break, and that's going to give our team some time to relax and enjoy themselves and
just worry about basketball.
Just worry about basketball. It's kind of nice.
You talked about the depth. Last year you had to start Renee Pecorina as a freshman point guard. This year you're able to bring her off the bench. I mean, I think that's one example of how deep this team is.
We have a lot of post players this year. That the depth in that area, being able to put 2 post players on the floor at all times makes a huge difference. We were able to move Jess Miller back to a 3. Which is where she should be. And so I think bringing Renee off the bench brings a spark off the bench, and especially defensively because she's so quick, but it just gives her a chance to grow a little bit more as a player without the pressure of being that starting point guard.
Mandy, as a head coach, I think a lot of people sometimes forget about you have to find the right positions for these players. It's not just about how good of an athlete they are. It's about, is this person a 3? Is this person a shooting guard versus a point guard? Talk about that as a head coach, how you look for certain things and your ability to place people where you think their skills will be best used.
Well, it depends on who you have, This year, our 5 players, we choose them because who can score with the best back to the basket moves. Our 4 players are people who can shoot a little bit from the outside, attack the basket, and score with their back to the basket. 3s are typically more athletic guards who can run the floor a little bit better. Our 2s are better shooters. And our point guard handles the ball the best and has that leadership to get us set up in our offense. So that's kind of the breakdown for that.
Kim, let's step away from the athletics part of your student athlete, and let's talk a little bit about you as a student. Obviously, you just said that you finished your student teaching. That had to be a lot of juggling for you, because I know that you're, especially if you were in Wabasha. How did you make it all work so that you could student teach, do your studies, and then and also play basketball?
Well, it helped a lot that Coach was so understanding of what I had to do and be in different things, so that was good. But I'm just the kind of person, I really like to be busy. If I have like 2 hours to sit around, I will do that instead of actually doing things. So I'm kind of good at juggling things, but time management's huge, and basketball throughout the last 3 years has helped me develop time management skills. So it's helped a lot with that. And my cooperating teacher is actually the head volleyball coach there. They won state at Wabasha. So she was great with understanding, I have to leave early because I have practice or other things like that.
Kim, are you expecting this to be a cardiac kind of a season? And what I mean by that is your team is averaging 58 points a game, giving up about 55 points a game. Are you expecting a lot of close games here as we get to the second part of the season?
I sure hope not, because I'm a nail biter. I like to keep them going. But you never know. We're so competitive in every game this year. So I hope we're going to come out on top of those cardiac games.
Yeah,
but
Mandy, how about you? Are you expecting some nail biters down the stretch here, as Kim pointed out?
There'll be a few. Yeah. There should be a few nail biters. I think what was one of the nicest things this season is to have that 20-point win over Colorado College early. They've experienced a lot of winning this season, and I think that once we gain more confidence and start playing together, we added some freshmen in the mix. As that continues, I think we'll be able to have less close games.
And of course, in close games, you know, free throws are going to be critical. And right now, your team's shooting relatively well at 70% from the free throw line.
We are, and we're getting to the free throw line, you know, which is huge for us. Jess Thone and Sherry Kulig have been driving to the basket a ton, and our post players have been getting to the line. And you know, a lot of basketball coaches say if you make more free throws than the other team shoots, you're going to win a lot of games. And so we've been really getting to the free throw line well.
We had Kim describe the senior leadership, the senior class. How about from your standpoint? What do you look for from those three, and what are they doing that is helping you be successful?
A little bit of everything. These three have been phenomenal. They've made my life as a coach a lot easier. Just because they're so responsible, they're such good people, they have great work ethic, good hearts, you know, which are very strong characteristics in leaders. Kim hit it right on the nose by saying that Sherry's kind of the more analytical thinker, big picture-oriented person. You know, Jess is bubbly, Kim is bubbly, but they're both different in their own ways, which makes a great senior class of leaders.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this segment of the Cardinals Nest. Mandy and Kim, thanks for being on the show, and good luck here the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. Donnie and I will be back to wrap things up here on the Cardinals Nest right after this on HBC.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was a mobile phone company where you could actually get great customer service? Well, the wait is over. Full mobile phone service is now available at HBC. With plans starting as low as $40 a month on the nation's largest coverage map, HBC Mobile has a plan for everyone. Individual, family, data, they're all available. And they all come with the personal customer service you've come to expect from HBC. Stop in today at 58 Johnson Street, Winona to see how you can get a free phone. HBC Mobile. Service you can trust.
Damn. Guess that's the yoga guy.
This just gets better and better.
Well, hello. I am so sorry I'm late. I just swam from the other side of the island. Please, allow me to put on something more proper before we can begin.
Thank God.
There we go. Much better. Now, who is ready for the yoga?
"32 teams, 16 games, 1,000 stories. It's a maelstrom of sound bites and highlights. Amidst the chaos, there is a place of reason. Welcome to the Eye of the Storm. Inside the NFL. Wednesdays at 9, followed by Inside NASCAR.
Hey, I'm Buddha, inviting you to join me for a brand new show here on HBC TV 25 called Real Attractions. We'll show you trailers from the latest movies to hit theaters and also what's being released on DVD that week. Plus, you have a chance to win free movies by registering at my.hbci.com/realattractions. But you gotta watch to win. So check out Real Attractions here on HBC TV 25, hosted by yours truly, which is why we didn't call it Real Attractive.
Want to get this on your calendar coming up, the Acoustic Cafe. It'll be 2 jazz workshop combos directed by John Paulson and Eric Hoykeshoven. That's going to be this Sunday, December 19th. This really serves as a final exam for some music students. That's 2 to 4, so it's free. Check it out at the Acoustic Cafe this Sunday. And finally, just to get this on your calendar, there's a ski event coming up on January 30th, so you got some time on this one. But if you like to ski and want to do it a little bit competitively, get this on your calendar on January 30th. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. This is actually our last new Cardinals Nest until a little bit later in January in 2011. So until then, we'll see you then. We'll have some repeat shows until that time. So for Donny Nadeau, I'm Dean Beckman. Thanks for watching here on HBC.